Peace, peace, peace. What up, ladies and gentlemen? How you living? How you feeling out there, folks? Once again, it's your boy Emilio Wackball, and I'm back at it, rocking with you here on another episode. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come over here and rock out with me as we get ready to get into this brand new conversation that we got on deck for all of y'all out there, man. But before we go any further, first and foremost, I would like for everybody to stop what they doing. Head over there to Twitter, X, whatever you calling it these days. Be sure to follow us at Nonstop Radio 212 or hit me on my personal Twitter page at the Emilio Wackball. And for those of you out there that like to be on the gram more than you like being on whatever you calling the bird these days, hit us up at EJP_entertainment to stay up to date with everything related to EJP Entertainment. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we got a dope one in store for y'all here tonight. And this next guest definitely isn't a stranger to this platform. This marks the fourth occasion that we've had the honor of having this young lady come in and join us, man. And for those of y'all out there who knows, man, and I said it to her on the phone before we got started, and I'm going to say it once again, this is definitely one of my favorite artists, and I say that without ego, and I say that proudly here tonight on the show. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, from the fourth time calling in from the Windy City, please help me welcome back to the show, Jushay Signature. Jushay, what's good? How are you?
Yo, I am doing wonderful. How are you? How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a hot minute since you've been on the show, so you know what we're going to be doing here tonight. We're going to be doing a lot of catching up, and we're also going to get into a lot of the new stuff you got going on because, yo, I could say you stay one of the artists out there that keeps evolving each and every time we have a conversation. There's always something new with you when you come back to this show. And you always are, should I say, innovative when it comes to your approach with your brand, your craft, and everything that you're doing. So with that said, welcome back to the show. It's an honor to have you once again. How has everything been?
Man, I appreciate that so much. Like when you said I was your favorite artist, like that touched me. That let me know I'm doing something. You feel me?
No doubt.
And I think that's what it's about. It's about having that passion. I really love this. I just love being in control of my creativity. So thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. And with your creativity, it has bred a lot of things over the years that we've had the opportunity to, showcase here on this platform. And we've also had the, the privilege of seeing you showcase it on your own. You got 3 albums out right now. You got IDE, which dropped back in 2017. And then you got Now Trending that came out in 2020. And then followed that with Chicago Bulls. So, you know what I'm saying? The work is definitely there. The discography is definitely there for a lot of people who aren't familiar, definitely going to get familiar here tonight. You also follow that up with very notable singles from No Problems, which got me introduced to you back in 2017. Then also you came back full flex with the song Commas that you dropped with Boss Money Justo, also with Wake Up, and then Flu Game, Chicago Bull. One of my favorite songs that a lot of people out there don't talk about too often, but it should definitely be on their radar, Prime, from off of your Now Trending. Excuse me, not Prime.
Okay.
No, Prime. I'm right. Prime, got the albums
Prime?
wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago Bull. And then also another one that I was listening to just a few minutes ago before you called in, the one you got called Self. I heard it on your Instagram page as well. So the discography is definitely there, and you've been putting in work, and you're one of those ones that you have a unique gift when it comes to like changing your flow. You never hear the same things twice coming from you. So how do you, as an artist in this day and age, when everybody's finding or following the trendy sounds and the ways of people putting together music, how do you manage to stand out amongst all that?
Man, I just try my best to remain myself, at all times. I'm a confident, alpha woman. I like having control. I like being an entrepreneur. And I just love experiencing, just the world, life. Like a lot of that stuff that I write, it really comes from my heart. So by that being said, like it's authentic. But at the same time, I'm still a student of the game, if that makes sense. I love
You
learning.
can definitely hear the passion. You can definitely hear the fact that you soak up so much from your peers, those who came before you, and actually who's out doing their thing now. You know, when I watch, you know, your new platform, you know, Signature Review, even though it's not new, but it's new to a lot of people out there. You know, I can definitely hear, you know, how much you really, you know, invest your time into listening and studying some of your peers when you get through your reviews, because I'm listening to it and I'm like, wow, like the way she presents it and the way she like breaks the songs down, you can tell that comes from a nature of just wanting to learn and wanting to soak in so much. You know what I'm saying? So like with the Signature Review, like what brought you to that idea to get that platform started?
Yo, like I'm not even gonna lie, the signature review was like an accident. I was in my apartment, in my living room, literally just like I had like a ally, a buddy of mine, like, you know, he was just like, yo, you should do this, you know, and I'm like, why? He like, yo, you got a personality. You want to show your personality. You know, I got to shout out Jay Ward. He was the person that pretty much said that. He was shooting a little bit of my content, a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was somebody like I was kind of like, you know, growing with. And like he threw that at me like, huh, you know, and I was like, that. I did it. I saw like the reactions of it. Like a lot of people enjoyed it. So that actually motivated me to keep going because they liked it. So eventually, just my journey of doing it, I look back at like even some of my videos that I've done. I uploaded on YouTube. I was checking it out. I was like, wow, this was like, my first one was like 4 years ago. So I've been doing the signature review for 4 years now.
Now, we spoke earlier, you know, and I mentioned the evolution of Jushay's signature, you know, from when I first got introduced to you back in 2017 to the artist, the young lady, and the person that you become here in 2023. We spoke of the evolution of you, and then we think about the signature review from how it started back 4 years ago to where it is now. And it's like you like you can tell like you're really starting to grow into this space. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people, they come into the music industry and they want to just be artists throughout their whole entire careers. And then once they get stagnant, they have no other way to go when it comes to, you know, any other ventures within the music industry. You, on the other hand, like you're venturing out into various different platforms now. Like we mentioned the signature review, how it got started 4 years ago into where it is now. And then we also got to talk about, you know, the signature mindset, the podcast that you have as well. So transitioning from being an artist and getting into being a personality now, like how has that shift gone for you so far?
Man, to be honest with you, it's going quite well. I feel like it's a part of my brand. Like us as people, we are multidimensional. You know, I think we forget about that. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I actually graduated from college. Like, I went to Lake Forest College, and like I low key went there because I was like, yo, I'm gonna be a veterinarian. You know, it was a liberal arts school, but I was taking up biology, took a couple chemistry classes. When I say like I literally failed chemistry, I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna be? So I looked at my, I know this is crazy because like, I know you like, wasn't rap your plan A? Like, how did rap become your plan B, right?
Right. I could definitely see where the communications degree definitely plays into what you do musically and also with your podcast and your platforms, because I listen to it and like to somebody that's not familiar, they would think that this is something you've been doing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like getting into the being a personality. So I can definitely hear how it translates going into your, you know, your podcast and everything. And, you know, having been an artist, I can definitely see how you connect on a different scale or a different level when it comes to fellow artists, because it's like you can ask those questions from an artist's perspective that most people that haven't picked up a pen to, you know, write a lyric or a song or a hook or whatever, you can connect with them in ways that other people can't. And when you hear that, you can hear it that this is something like you kind of sound like a natural when it comes down to it. Like I was listening to some of your podcast, The Signature Mindset, also before we got started here tonight, and you was doing the interview with let me see, it was Marty. You was doing an interview with, and like the way that it just flowed sounds so natural. Like this is something like you set out to do, and something that you had within you for a long time. Was this something that has always been a goal of yours, or this was something that, you know, you just wanted to try your hand at it and you actually see that you're pretty good at it?
Man, to be honest with you, I love sitting down with people. I love like getting personal, having that moment of like really understanding who are you, because like I feel like we are spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we are here for a reason. Like we not just here to just like gossip. We not just here to just like, you feel me? Like just do nothing. We here to like work together. We here to like understand each other, feel each other. And I just feel like conversations, period, like that's like one of my favorite things to do. It's a hobby. It's what I do. It's a lifestyle. It's who I am, you know?
Well, let me tell you, definitely doing a good job at it when it comes to, you know, speaking with people and, you know, getting out there and helping people push their brand forward. And that's one thing, you know, I like about, you know, the two of us together. You know, we both started out off as artists, and then we ventured into the part of it where we wanted to give back in a way, which was helping other artists. You know, you do that with the Signature Review. I just heard the news, the great news that you two have gotten engaged and are, you know, due to be
Yes, we
married
do.
here soon. So congratulations to the both of you. And I wish you both nothing but the most blessed and happiest life together.
Thank you. And I appreciate that.
You're absolutely
From the bottom
welcome.
of my heart, too. Because, like, look, check it out. Like, we literally been together for 11 years.
Wow.
Going on Friday. Friday, it'll be 11 years. That's crazy.
Happy anniversary.
Nobody, like, not too many people can say that. Yeah, nah, I appreciate that.
That's dope. You know, especially in the time nowadays where, you know, relationships are like an afterthought. You know, people just out here, you know, living life, speed dating and getting with whoever they can get with, and then the next moment they're gone. And then we was talking about how the music, the frequencies and the vibes is all low right now. So, you know, that's definitely a beautiful thing, especially being in an industry as cutthroat as the music industry.
And that's the most important thing right there. Is somebody that's going to support you, ride with you, understand you, and help you whenever you know what I'm saying, you need that help, and vice versa. You know, it's all about reciprocity.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, you know, being that now you're starting to go through the transition of, you know, being more so of a personality also in terms with your music and everything like that. What you mentioned, you know, some of the cons earlier, and I can definitely understand and relate to those. But what has been some of the like the drawbacks that you've experienced so far along with this transition? You know, I know everybody has, you know, their feel good stories, but I like to get to, you know, like the bad sides of it too, because you know there's a lot of stories I
The
could
best
definitely share
idea,
well.
for sure.
You know,
I don't know if it's like concrete enough, but I just say like, you know, it's lonely at the top, you know.
I could dig that. I definitely could dig that, no doubt.
Because you know, you remember like we want to give back, and when people don't, you know, take what we're trying to give, or they use and abuse it, or take advantage of a genuine soul, you feel like you're unappreciated. You feel like, yo, like I just like alley hooped you, and then like they missed, and then like as a coach, or you know, like I said, I'm still a student of the game myself, and I want other people to look at themselves as like they still students of the game as well.
Then, so let me ask you, like, have you had anybody that's tried to like take advantage of your kindness? You know, being that you are a woman in this. Okay.
Of course. And I got a lot of people, especially not now. Like I told you, I'm at the top, so it's like it's at the point where it's like just making sure I'm making the best decisions for myself. So at the same time, like right now, I don't have an issue with like, how can I say this? Because they were lessons. So by me having those lessons, I just had to learn that, you know, self-love is very important. So you have to love you before you can just extend your love out to everybody else.
That is absolutely true. Now, with that being said, would you consider your single the rebirth? Would you say that was something along the lines of this new mindset that you're taking on in terms of the way you approach situations nowadays?
Yeah, I definitely say so. I would say like I've always had it in me, right? But at one point I kind of like had to kind of like go back to my roots. When you around so many different people that have so many different energies, to be around them just to be accepted or just to fit in or just to feel like, okay, let me not allow fear. But sometimes it's not fear. It's more like, yo, you know what's best for you. And sometimes we can like talk ourselves out of something that we already know. The more I did subtract myself from the outer world and looking for acceptance in the outer world, I've learned that like I had to accept me and stand on it, you know?
Right.
And stand on it.
I like that. I like that because, you know, I find myself these days, especially given my nature, I'm one of those type of people. I like things, I don't know if you want to say order, but I like things to flow in a sense where, you know, you solve a problem or you take care of a problem or an issue before it has a chance to become a problem. So, you know, that's the way I am with, you know,
Exactly.
with things at work. That's the
Yes,
way
proactive.
yeah, you know, you like to be proactive. And then like sometimes I find myself getting frustrated about things. And then it just goes back to what you just said. Sometimes I got to realize certain things are out of my control. So I can't sit there and allow myself to be stressed out about it. I got to learn to accept that I can't change this because this is something that's out of my control. And something that, you know, somebody has said to me a long time ago, which is a good friend of mine. He had mentioned to me, you can't change people's actions, but the only thing you can do is change how you react to them. And I find myself in that constant battle
Yes.
here a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand where that comes from.
Yo, like that was literally like I need you to write that down and text that to me.
I got hey,
And I
you know what?
literally, I'm gonna quote you. I say Emilio Escobar for sure. Like that's a collab right now. We need to brand that on the shirt, like for real. And like that's how you know, like when we put that in the universe, then our vibe is gonna attract our tribe. You know what
You're
I'm saying?
right. You're right. I don't know. I think that's that May connection that you and I both have. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, you know.
Yo, like when is your birthday
May 21st.
again?
May
May
20.
21st. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay. I remember it was May. I just forgot it was the 21st, but I ain't gonna never forget now. I got it. May
Okay.
21st. Back.
Okay. Now let me make sure I'm right about yours. Your birthday is May 17th.
You almost close, almost right there.
Ah, where am I
May
at?
18th.
May 18th. Okay, I was thinking either the
May
18th
18th.
or
You
the
was just one day
17th. I was
out.
close. Okay, cool.
But
See,
look, check it out. You add the 1 plus the, 7, that's 8. You know, you was almost there.
yeah, I was almost there. Close. Got the cigar in hand, but wasn't able to light it. It's all good though.
No. I'm gonna let you light it. Look.
Okay, cool. We got you. So with that being said, you know, you mentioned earlier also, you know, going back to your roots, you know, and how I first got introduced to you was, you know, it was bars when it comes down to, you know, the type of music you was putting out. You know, you was really spitting. And then you changed to, you know, you elevated your flow to, you know, something a little more current, but it was still your style. And then I'm listening to your recent music, like I mentioned earlier, Self, the single that you have. And then I'm going to mention these two songs that you got me. Now I'm eager to put out and break on this platform. You know, we finally got it, ladies and gentlemen. She promised us years ago, and we finally got it now.
I
Brenda's
did.
Story, and then also the new joint you got, They Don't Care About Us. So like, you know, I'm listening to them. I'm like, yo, just like the
Thanks.
raw talent and lyricism and your approach to the writing of the songs and stuff like that is definitely shining on that one, man. So like what made you get back into, you know, that particular approach to making your music?
Man, I think it's like what we talked about earlier and we touched on, like sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. And I think like I would have like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I gotta be honest, like even some of these people like I really don't even talk to no more. They still special to me, and I always like listen because like everything and what somebody say to me is a lesson. You know, like sometimes we don't like who's saying it, but don't look at the messenger, just look at the message. You know.
True.
So I've had like a couple people know my potential, know what I'm capable of, and if they felt like I was pretty much, how can I say this, not really allowing my true essence to shine or even like test the boundaries. You get what I'm saying? Like, but also with integrity, right? You know, I don't know. It's one of those things where you just don't want to fall too much into like somebody else's world and then you lose like your path, like what was destined for you. So I had a lot of people around me kind of, you know, you know, they sometimes they hurt my feelings, you know, but at the same time, like I knew it was for the best,
Right.
you know. So
You know, but those are the type of people you want to keep around you all the time, because those are the people that's going to be real with you, whether it hurts your feelings or not, because it's coming from a genuine place. It's coming from a place that they want to see you succeed and they care about you. You know, we may take it, especially in human nature nowadays, we may take it as some kind of, you know, you being a hater or you don't know what you're talking about, especially when people are saying something that we really don't want to hear. But sometimes those things that you don't want to hear is sometimes the thing that we actually need to listen to the most, because those are the things that's going to set you on the right path.
And you know what? You're so right about that, because like when it comes down to it, like I must say, this interview with us right now is literally what is it called? Like it's just like the epitome of me saying that yes, you were right. And I'm okay. I'm actually I can walk in that and say, yo, like, let's go. You taught me well, like I'm ready. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready.
Now,
because I love challenges.
Right. Now, how would you say like that affected your character once you heard those words that you wasn't, you know, you didn't really like too much at first, but you understood where it was coming from?
Yeah. Like at first I didn't know, right? But like throughout, you know, just my own experience, and then like I think also it comes with the right teacher too. Like I think certain people can explain things in a better way, right? So I think that maybe everybody didn't have the best communicational like tool to be able to help me understand. But I think if it comes from more like, that's why I like the signature review, because I feel like with my show, when it comes to like other artists on the show, like I don't just go to just critique. Like I really listen to the record. Like I really try to tap into that individual and understand where they coming from, and really listen to the cadence and listen to the flow and listen to how they saying it. And a lot of it does be authentic, but like sometimes, you know, you have a lot of artists that just literally like don't really care about how the music sound as far as production wise, or, you know, they don't have maybe the budget or, you know, to put more money in it to make it sound good. Or sometimes you have people that just make stuff sound good, and then it's like not even good. Like it's not even good content, period. We talked about this earlier. So like, I mean, the thing is, I really go in depth about it. You know, I think that's the most important part, because when you really analyze the individual, you can kind of like really steer them and help them in a more critical thinking way, if that makes sense, instead of like demeaning them. Like if you pay attention, I don't just say trash. I might say, yo, put an emoji that's fire or trash, but then I'll turn around and tell them like, yo, like at the end of the day, like tell us why you think it's trash. You get what I'm saying? Because I think that's more important, like instead of just saying, yo, this trash, next, you know?
Right.
Like tell them what they could do. Like give them, if it's a problem, what are there any solutions, period.
That is true. That is true. And it goes back to what we were saying just a few minutes ago about, you know, just people just being haters. You know, like some people, they can't really find or really tell you a good reason why they feel as though something is trash. It's just because of the fact that it's somebody else, is not them. So they're getting the attention that they wish they could get. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to try to demean that person whatsoever. That's why, you know, in this music industry, something I've learned a long time ago and something I'm still learning as time progresses, that you got to really have a thick skin. You got to be open to accepting criticism, because not everything you're going to put out there is going to be 100%. You're not going to hit a home run on every release or every episode or every conversation you have. So, you know, you got to be open to taking those, you know, those constructive criticisms, but you also got to know when somebody's just, you know, trolling, just being a hater as well, you know?
Now, you're so right about that. And you would know, like I said, once you find that vibe you need, you know, the people that sense that energy, they instantly become your tribe, you know? Because, again, it's about reciprocity. That's, like, one of the main things. Like, it just got to be like a partnership. You get what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes people not team players. So when you think of it on that level, it's just like, it's always going to be some type of friction. You know what I mean? So those just not your people. You get what I'm saying? Period.
True.
Those is not your people.
True.
Hmm.
Now, getting into, the last quarter of 2023, we mentioned earlier, the fact that you have the signature review, you have the signature mindset. We mentioned the fact that you have 3 albums out right now. Also, you have an EP out called After Hours with J. Rose.
Yeah, it's something creative. It's something like for the future. Like one thing I've learned just like in capitalism, I'm not gonna lie, like I study it to a certain level because I told you like I love entrepreneurship. Like it
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel like, yo, I can't control people, but I can control my destiny.
Right.
So so I think that's the most important part about it. But it's fun. It becomes fun and it becomes like you start thinking innovative. It's almost like when Steve Jobs took the acid and then he fucking came up with the iPhone, on
Mm-hmm.
accident. Like I like making accidents and like perfecting them.
And mistakes and accidents sometimes are the best way to learn things. They provide more experiences, believe it or not, than actual successes, because you can learn a lot more from a failure than you can learn from a success story. That's something I've always believed in, because if you're trying to pursue a certain passion or a certain goal, and you can, listen to somebody else's story who's on that same path, but they didn't quite make it. They had, their bumps and bruises along the way. You can probably learn more from that person because they're going to be genuine about what they felt about. Whereas you're going to have some other people that, once they get to a certain level of success, they may be a little reluctant to share that information with you because some people is not going to want to be able to share that plate or have somebody they feel as though can possibly become competition somewhere down the line.
And it's so crazy. The crazy part about it is I don't even really look at it like it's competition. Only
Mm-hmm.
reason why, don't get me wrong, I do have a very competitive spirit, okay? But I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I don't look at it like that. I look at it like sharing ideas. Like we're all, reaching in the pool of conscious in the same pool of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like it's a portal that we all kind of reaching ideas and getting concepts, and they all recycle. But the great part about it is you can put your little spice or your little customization on it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the customization be the sauce. You hear me? Like, you know how many millions of ketchups you got, but it's like that one brand of ketchup, you might be like, I fuck with this type of ketchup.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like that. Like, that's why I don't really look at it like we can compete, like, because like you and I'm me, nigga. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, you're right about that, and that's the thing I don't understand. Like, yes, I will use competitive nature as a way to fuel my drive. Like,
facts.
I
I
want
do
to,
that a lot. I
you,
do that a lot.
yeah,
I do that a lot.
like on some Reggie Miller type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Reggie Miller used to love coming to New York and playing in the Garden because he knew us Knicks fans, we hated his guts. So he used that and he let that, fuel his drive to come there and cook us every time he came to Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at it like that.
Right,
Use
right.
that not really to be competitive, but use that to drive you along. Because in the end of the day, I want to see everybody win. Whatever you're doing, I don't. Even if I don't like you, I want to see you be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those type of people that want to be a hater or wish bad on people, because that kind of karma that goes out there in the universe and it comes back and it's got to go to work. So I want to see somebody win, but it's
Right.
like you
No,
got
you're
so
right
many
about
people
that.
out there, they feel like you can't share a certain spot with somebody because this person may come along and take your shine, and it doesn't always work out like that.
It does not work like that. And what's so crazy is I'm the type of person where I honestly don't really like all the spotlight on me anyway.
Me
Like I
neither.
actually rather share it because at least it's not always just on me. Like the attention can be on multiple different people. Like, and we just and what happens with that is I end up just enjoying the chemistry, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Oh yeah, I definitely
It's the
understand.
chemistry I enjoy.
Nah,
Like we actually vibe and we actually connect and we actually, building something bigger than us. Like I just love that aspect,
yeah,
you know.
I like that too, and I like when you can be able to build with others, especially people that are like-minded, or maybe somebody that brings something different to the table, but you got similar vision that you're looking to, turn into a
Yeah.
reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I can learn from you, you can learn from me, and we can put this together, and we can make something that can be great. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like trying to have it all to myself, why not use it to bring other people up? You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. Definitely.
You
That's
know,
what matters. like 100%. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So before we get ready to wrap everything up, I know we've been on here for quite some time and everything, and it's definitely been dope, having the chance to have a conversation with you again. Before we get ready to wrap everything up, we mentioned earlier, your two singles that I'm going to get a chance to break here on the show tonight. We mentioned They Don't Care About Us, and we mentioned Brenda's Story. Like, musically, what can we expect from you going forward before we get ready to break into 2024?
Yo, to be honest with you, I just feel like I have a lot of visuals. Like, I've been dropping, like, man, so a plethora of, like, different type of music. Like, that's why I haven't dropped another album yet, because I'm at the point where I'm just, like, single. And it's like, whatever comes to me, I'm putting it out. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I've realized that, to the multi-dimensional aspect of who I am. So, like, I just never know what's going to come out. It's like a frequency. It's like a message from God, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like, it sounds cliche, but it's the truth.
I come to find that, some of the best music comes from people that go out there and actually live their experiences, And it's good because, especially nowadays where people tend to believe that you got to put out an album every 5 minutes or put out a song every 2 minutes or whatever the case may be, in this whole microwave society. That's why music isn't consumed in the way it used to be, where people used to take their time and really soak in what an artist's work was. Because everybody's just, in this space where they're just throwing out music. Every day is something new. And then the consumer, they moving on to something new, like within the next 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So people's music is getting old quick instead of just taking the time, really perfecting their craft or really putting together what it is that they want to do. Now, I'm not saying like take forever, but I'm just saying, like those who actually take some time to really, put their music together and everything like that before they just go and put just a bunch of nonsense out. I respect that, and it makes the music come out that much better.
Right.
We can tell that they're putting their experiences into it.
One thing I want to tell you, like, and you're right, you're so right about that. You do have just people just mumble jumble like all over the fucking place. They used to call fucking SoundCloud rap like mumble jumble back in the day. Like,
yeah,
that was a big thing at one point. Like, Designer was like mumble jumble, So it was like, no. It just like at one point you couldn't even understand or hear what the fuck they was saying. They was just doing rhythms, like drums. They was just being an instrument rather than using words. And see, I told you, like, communication and words, that's the most important part of just being a rapper. You get what I'm saying? Like, what do you have to say? And actually owning that and actually using that to be your direction. I think that's what separates you from everybody. Matter of fact, that answers your question. That's why I'm different than a lot of what you hear, because the things that I really talk about be from the soul, or it really be like God be really giving me the messages, and I actually take them and apply them, because once again, I'm a student of the game, and I'm always looking to learn. Like, so many people, they don't even enjoy learning. They don't even know how to learn.
Right.
I've taught myself how to learn, and I've had a lot of people around me teach me too. So I think it definitely depends on what environment you grow up in.
That is
because a lot of people don't have the foundation.
Absolutely.